Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered several Veer-Submitted levels, so in this part, I'll be covering at least 5 or 6 more Veer-Submitted levels, starting out with this one. The Legend of Mega Man QC Maze by QC Shallot Muscles, 20 plays and a score of 5. As always, if you want one of your levels to be featured in a part like this one, please leave both the level name and level ID either in the comments section below or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for all the levels I cover in these parts, so if you want to check if your level was covered in one of these parts, expand the description and check the timestamps. Well, it is a maze level, so the longer loading time does make sense. Okay then, we have all those... We have the Charge Kick, Plant Barrier, and Perfect Freeze. The life bar on the left. What's that on the top right though? Is it a symbol? G, 6. Oh, wait a minute, that's a mini-map. It kinda reminds me of CRPGs in that way. The Mega Man symbol in the middle indicates me, and those green things indicate those pathways it can go through, or the green snake blocks, and the gray bars, or gray blocks, are of course the walls of this maze. And I think these green things, I just need to figure out what those other things mean, like, what do the red blocks mean, what do the gyro platforms mean? Okay, I think the gyro platforms mean there's a three-way junction. So this is up, this is down, this is left, I guess. This is also a dead end. Let's just hope that this maze isn't too complicated. The upper route leads to nowhere, so let's go down. Just want to make sure there's no secrets down over here. After all, I don't know if QC will pull off that trick. Well, that's checked, let's go to the left then. This is also a dead end. Okay, so the red blocks indicate rooms with enemies in them. Orange rooms indicate there's a challenge, but I can't access it from this side. Because if I use Charge Kick here, I'll die, because if I have to switch to the Plant Barrier, I won't be able to make it. And I already went up over there, so that area is sealed off until I can reach it from the other side, so let's go to the right, let's take the north route. Actually, wait a minute, what's down over there? Okay, series of enemies. At the very least with this minimap, you can easily make a map of this level. Okay, just a refill room. I do like how on the top left it indicates what special weapon we need to utilize. Like here we need to use the Charge Kick. And I believe the E-Tank indicates that's an item room or something. And I was right, though we have this big item we need to worry about. Which thankfully, due to button spamming, I was able to get it. So let's see where the right pathway leads up to. Okay, it's this room again. I already cleared this segment, so let's backtrack a little bit. Okay, sometimes the positioning of these Galaxy Man teleporters can be a bit confusing. At least that one. Well, I went down over there, so let's take the upper route this time. Let's go to the left. And it's a dead end. So let's go to the right this time, and we have this room. Thank you for the weapon refill. And this is a dead end. Didn't I already check out all the pathways and go through outside of the one blocked room with the Plant Man block? I know this is solvable, after all it was submitted online. This juncture is completed. And I already checked the right segment because it has the Hammer Joes. If only I had a bigger mini-map to figure out where I was going, that would be super helpful. Well, I think I'm lost here. Unfortunate. Yeah, I don't see anywhere else to go outside that one plant barrier room, but I can't reach it without getting killed unless I do it from the other side. Specifically this room. Because the moment I switch, I die. Actually, wait a minute. Oh, never mind, you can actually do the switch like this and it works. I didn't realize it was possible on top of a bed of spikes. That changes everything. I thought that was impossible to do without dying. Okay, and the pole eggs indicate a checkpoint room, and that block indicates a point of no return. So at the very least, I'm making progress again. Having those points of no return makes this stage a little bit less complex. Mega Buster, Mega Buster, Mega Buster. Okay. Oh boy, hopefully I didn't reach a dead end. That would be bad. Okay, so this is a dead end. Let me try the alternate route. Let's go upwards through this challenge room and oh goody. That was easier than I expected. Oh, and there's the end of the stage. Okay then. That was a lot better than what I expected. No? Okay, never mind. That's the end of the maze, and there was a checkpoint there, and now we fight Crash Man. Thank you, QC. Let me guess. Nope, not that. Even though he doesn't have a weakness, I can always just use Charge Shot. Rinse and repeat to win. Just be careful not to go too close to the ceiling or wall spikes, I mean. So that was the end of the Legend of Mega Man QC Maze. A pretty neat maze level. I really like the fact that we have a minimap always on the top right part of the screen, and each of the icons or blocks indicated something else. Thankfully the maze wasn't as big as I expected it to be. Plus, there was always these points of no return, where if you passed them, it simplified the maze, and even if you passed them, you had no real punishment outside of maybe missing an E or M tank. So I will give it a thumbs up for its creativity. Good work, Shallot Muscles. Second on the lineup is Floresta Poluida, Escolha o Chefe Desta Fase by Lipatio 2, 17 plays and a score of 4. This roughly translates to English as the Polluted Forest, and I guess it's the second edition of the Polluted Forest, because I recall playing a level by Lipatio with a similar title. Okay, it's gonna be about medium to semi-long. Okay, only Mega Buster, but it can still be a challenge level knowing Lipatio. After all, most of Lipatio's levels start out pretty easy, but at least half of them get fiendishly hard near the end. And of course, here are spikes. At the very least, the Coltons were introduced safely, as well as the spike jumps. Now, green force beams, for good measure. At the very least, we have the force beams introduced in a safe environment, and these are the green ones instead of the yellow or red ones. And because I don't have something to Windstorm, I don't need to investigate what's on the top right there. Of course, now we have item 3, so that changes things. At the very least, it's the underutilized one for Mega Man 2 instead of item 1 or item 3, so that's a plus. I just gotta be a bit careful not to run out of weapon energy though. Also a safe place to introduce the petite snakies. As well as the Susies. Oh yeah, I forgot. Item 3. You gotta be a bit careful because once it reaches the edge of the platform, or as high as it can go, you only have a few seconds before it just despawns. Now we're introducing the footholders. I guess we're gonna combine it with usage of the fan fiends, of course. At the very least, the checkpoint placement is on point. I didn't even walk into the spikes there. I was trying to tap into her, but of course, spike hitboxes. That's the safe route. Thank you for giving me access to item 3. Of course, now we have top spin. Oh boy. At the very least, all these special weapons and utilities are introduced in safe environments first, instead of just dropping us into the fray. And you have the ability to reset most of these rooms anyway, so it isn't too bad. Also, these are the petite devils, so you have several shots with them. Need to be really careful here so I don't accidentally kill myself by elevating it too high. It could have been a lot worse if I had to do it on waterfalls without item 3. This looks suspicious. I missed that Hari at the bottom there. Well, we seem to have two separate routes with different sets of enemies, though I'm not sure which one is the more difficult route. By taking the upper route, we do skip the windstorm, I mean the air shooter there. Oh, thank goodness there was a hidden Galaxy Man teleporter there. It'd be kind of a jerk move if we had to backtrack. Still, we're missing the air shooter, so I'm wondering if we lost access to a future part of the level. Because we don't have access to the leaf shield either. Unless that was also in a secret area too. Okay, charge kick time. Let me take the ladder first and then go to the boss door. Oh goody, we actually have 3 choices. No, we have more than 3, we have 4 choices. Well, let's see what number 4 is. This is a point of no return though. Hopefully they don't lead to really desperate different locations of the level. In that case, I'll just use the level editor. Oh, it's just a different place to fight Toadman, so I'll just use a level editor to check after this. Well, even with all the fan fiends blowing me to the right, isn't that bad because this is this Toadman. Really, the hardest segment of the stage was that charge kick segment. And to be fair, this wasn't the most difficult of Lipatio's levels anyway, so I'm really thankful of that. It was getting there, but then it ended where it needed to be, so it wasn't that bad, and I enjoyed it. Nice difficulty progression, and even though it was a special weapons oriented level and an easier precision based challenge level, all of the special weapons and enemies were first introduced in safe environments, and then they were elevated. Thankfully we didn't combine, or at least for me thankfully, it didn't get too difficult as we didn't combine usage of the toss spin, charge kick and item tree, because there were several segments where we could potentially chain them all together. Or I can imagine several scenarios where that would be possible. Though I did miss a key somewhere which prevented me from getting the leaf shield, and I missed the air shooter by not taking the lower route, which I guess was Toadman's weakness. But as I mentioned, I'll be checking out what the 3 other pathways lead to in the level editor. Alright, I'm in the level editor now. So behind door number 1 we need to fight 2 plant men. Behind door number 2 we need to fight Woodman, where we need to immediately crush him using these Cossack platforms. And behind door number 3 we need to fight Bubbleman, who has at least 11 Petite Devil cohorts. So definitely door number 4 was the easiest one. Third on the lineup is Fleeing from the Abandoned Castle Easy by Rebeca Silva, 164 plays and a score of 61. A pretty well regarded level actually, so let's see how it fares. Judging by the name, it's going to be either a traditional level or a fortress level. When we have the Mega Buster. Okay, Mega Man 5 control scheme, or Mega Man 5 abilities, that being jump, shoot, slide, as well as the Mega Man 5 charge shot, aka the best one. Or the most powerful one. Okay, we have a quick introduction of these keys and presses. I wonder if there are going to be some optional areas with these keys though. That'll be neat to see. Okay, this definitely feels more like a fortress level now because we're immediately thrown into the fray with all these crash lift platforms suspended over bottomless pits. Good checkpoint placement, similar with the previous level. How do we get this E-tank though without the top spin? Or without any other aerial ability? Oh, okay, I guess if we drop down from here, somewhere. Or it's just there for aesthetics. That works too. Boy, the background and foreground is a little bit distracting, or it could be a little bit hard to distinguish. Especially with the white waves and the white platforms. A little bit difficult though. just checking the sides of the screens for any secrets. And now I see the castle is breaking apart because we see these snapped columns. I do like in this level how we're going up and up, and we're escaping through the waterfall or something. AKA this castle is in a state of disrepair basically, which makes sense as it's considered to be an abandoned one. Okay, green force beams. I was worried it's going to be a red one or something. But we do have spikes though, so we gotta be a bit cautious. And here we escape, by riding off of the top platform. Thanks for the heart there. And we teleport right through the middle of the hearts. Clever! This is a nice little level. It was not that difficult in fact, a little bit, I would say moderate. Around the same as a fortress level, and it definitely felt like a fortress level in disrepair. Especially near the end where or at least halfway through the level, where we saw those broken suspenders. So pretty pleasant stage overall. I can definitely see why I got such a high score. Forward on the lineup is Planted Wood by Skullman, 12 plays and a score of 4. Okay, this is going to be a little bit longer than the normal Mega Man level, so about 30 or 35 screens I think. Okay, only Mega Man 3 abilities, so jump, shoot, slide, no charge shots. And this is going to be a fortress level. I mean, it's going to be a forest level. What just happened there? I don't recall that glitch being in Mega Man Maker before version 1.2. I was next to the ladder while I was holding down when sliding, and that probably resulted in me warping into the bottomless pit or something. Also a neat way of introducing those Neo-Shotmen. This time it won't hold down. Well, at least this hot dog was placed in a vaguely threatening location. Nice checkpoint placement. Most levels in this part are on point with checkpoint placement so far. And this placement of the hot dog is more difficult than the previous one, so good work on that part too. $20 shots to kill after all, if I counted correctly. Also a safe way of introducing the walking bombs, because you have some time to react there, and if it gets stuck on the side of the platform there, you can always just climb down the ladder. Now we're putting the count bombs in more dangerous environments, that being suspended over bottomless pits. Same with these Ben Ks, because before we had double the room length, now we have half of it to react to their attacks. And this is even more difficult because we have a low ceiling. Which makes dodging all the fire bars a lot more difficult. Same with this actually, oh goodness. I'm not sure why the stage is called Planted Wood with all of these hot dogs here. Then again, Woodman stage did have the hot dogs, so... Gosh, dodging them when jumping over them are possible, but it's really difficult. That was really close there, and I'm hoping there's a checkpoint nearby. I really don't want to fight those hot dogs again. It isn't as bad as some of the more difficult challenge levels, but it can be a bit punishing. Final one. Hopefully I don't die here. This would be so much easier with charge shots. By not having charge shots, it elevates the bend case to an almost mini-boss status. I could play it more risky by going in front of it and get more time to shoot these shots, but I don't want to risk it. Especially with only 7 or 8 health left. Thank you for the checkpoint there, I'll gladly utilize it. I also realized I have acquired an E-tank, but I want to save it for the boss fight. I'm not sure how difficult it's going to be. A strangely empty room here. Same with this one, in fact. Oh, it's because it's to build tension with Woodman. Who's... oh no. We're fighting multiple bosses, it seems. I'd rather just fight Plant Man, actually. He's a lot weaker. I didn't expect to fight 2 plant-based Roadmasters here, so... probably Plant Man is weak against the Mega Buster, but Woodman is more resistant. I would have placed another checkpoint over here so we don't need to repeat this segment, but I guess it's to build dramatic attention or tension. Let me test something. Oh. Okay, he does take double damage too. So let me actually try killing off Woodman. That seems to be a better option. After all, he has more time being open. There we go, that's the end of the level. I just need to survive long enough now. This was a surprising end to Planted Wood, but I probably should have expected it because the titles refer to the first names of each of the Roadmasters. A pretty neat traditional level. I liked the introduction of enemies, although I'd say that a Floresta Poluida did a bit better. Still, I'll give it a thumbs up, so good work, Skullman. 5th on the lineup is Nightman's Charge Kick Training by Buster. 43 plays and a score of 8. I'll be silent and let the gameplay do the talking. Despite this stage being called a training level, it's one of the most difficult training levels I've ever played in Mega Man Maker. There are 3 main problem spots with this level, those being the unstable difficulty curve and 2 particular areas of the stage itself. For an example of the first, take a look at the final section of the stage with the Galaxy Man teleporters. It's much easier than the crash lift segment, and I'd say it's arguably easier than the segment preceding it, with the precise air jumping. 2 of the problem areas with the level deal with the springs and the line of gyro platforms. The springs aren't introduced properly, as an important factor is that if you use the air slide and then you land on a spring, it won't reset your air slide. It'll only reset if you land on solid ground, so that's really important to understand, especially for a following section of the level. Another issue was the area which I was stuck on with the 5 gyro platforms that I need to air jump over. That was unreasonably difficult and it took over a minute. It was just too precise. I would say to move it down by 1 block because the rest of the level, or at least the preceding it, isn't that difficult. 6th and final level of the part is Spring a Ring by Dravitch, 12 plays and a score of 2. Just like the previous level, I'll let the gameplay do the talking. Well, this level was certainly more difficult than the previous one, judging by all of the deaths that I edited out. Before you try out this level, you need to know of 3 important factors: how fan fiends work, how the timing on the gyro platforms work, as well as knowing the fact that you can extend your jump distance by sliding off of the gyro platforms. That's really important for making the jumps in several segments. So I wouldn't recommend playing this level unless you're an advanced Mega Man player. Overall, out of the 6 levels that I played in this part, my favorite level would be Floresta Poluida by Lipatio. Well then, in the next part, I'll be covering another long Metroidvania level. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!